Hey guys, Luke here from Australian Off-Road. I'm doing a quick video just here in the showroom of standard lights. So we're going to work external lights and internal lights. It is a common asked question as to what the standard lights are and where they are. So it'll only take a few minutes and we'll quickly highlight these for you. So working on passenger side external, so in the kitchen area, you will always have two lights here as standard. So one is going to be above the window at the front, which is going to be basically above your fridge area. And then we do have one here in the pantry as well. Now with these lights, they can be switched. The one in the pantry is slightly different, so I'll touch on that in a second. But if we look at the one above the fridge, you will see that I can switch this between amber and white. So I have the choice there to switch. The one that is in the pantry is individually controlled. So I physically on the light can turn it off, or I can turn it across to an amber. Now obviously, being that this is in the pantry, this is where some of the options come into play, in that if I close this pantry down, which is going to happen from time to time, especially when you're out obviously using the trailer and there's bugs around and things like that, if you've got food in there, you might find that you're closing this down, which then means you are only working off the one light. Now, me personally, I would tend to utilize the 12-volt socket that we have in this area, and I may plug a strip light in if I need additional light so I can maneuver it to where I want it. But we do have a common option where you can bring a second light in above the pantry. And obviously the advantage of that light is, regardless of whether this is up or down, you will always have two lights. Being that if it's up, you'll have your light working that's in the pantry and this one will be covered. If this is down, you could bring that second light into play. So just remember, the one above the pantry is optional. The two that you are now seeing on screen are standard. So this is passenger side, that covers our external light on the passenger side. Moving round to the driver's side. So on the driver's side, we haven't got this one switched on at the minute, but you will see this one again central to your window and central to these three lockers on this side. So this one again is going to be standard. Now this one a little bit different to the passenger side, only is a white light. So you don't have the choice of switching this one. It will strictly be just a white light. And the emphasis on this side of that is obviously if we need to come around here on night to grab some items out from out of here, we're really only going to need it as that brighter light. And one little thing that is a bonus, or a little tip here, is if you've got really bad bugs and you are outside, I tend to say switch this one on, so then all your bugs are attracted around to this side of the trailer. So then while you're operating on the passenger side in your cooking area, you're hopefully working off them on an orange light, so the bug repellent as we call it, which in turn means that all your bugs should be staying on this side of the trailer. So again, standard light, only white. Now moving round to the rear, now there isn't one on this trailer and this is not as standard, but just highlighting again, one common option that can be done would be to add a light at the back of the trailer, central if you like, above the spare tyre. And this is optional, but some people would like to have that, being that you've got the external shower. So obviously you can use that for nights. If you're showering in on an evening or you're just rinsing off on an evening, that light could be handy for some people, but that's not going to be standard, it is an option. So that covers external external lights. We're now going to look inside at standard internal lights so you can see them as well. Alrighty, so all our lights are on in here, so you can see we've got lights in the seating area, both sides. We've got one at the rear, and then we do have the two at the head of the bed. So I suppose starting firstly on the ones at the head of the bed, these are ones that some people will work off for reading lights. So a lot of you will be familiar with the options of actually getting the stalk lights, the reading lights at the side of the mattress, which are optional. If you're not really reading all that often, and especially I suppose if you're not reading off a book, so you're not paperback, if you're reading more off like your iPads and things like that, these lights for a lot of people tend to be fine because all these lights are individually controlled. So if I show you on this one, you can individually turn each light off, which obviously can be done up there, and you can actually twist them. So these will turn if you're trying to bring the light to different angles, which in turn means that the ones above the head of the bed, if you don't want them shining directly down into your eyes, you can just turn them towards the pelmet or tilt them out, so then obviously it's more shining away from you. So you've got two at the head of the bed, two in the seating area, one at the rear, and this will be your standard on your Quantum. It's going to be the same fit out in all the rest of the Quantum models. You may just have more of them obviously in the bigger trailers. So that highlights standard lights. All of these lights will be switched off the red arc in terms of power, and then as I've already shown you individually, you can turn them on and off as you need to. So hopefully that covers for everyone internal I keep saying PowerPoints, internal lights. So yeah, just highlighting internal lights, external lights, and some options that can be done as well. Last thing to touch on, the inside lights are only a white light, so you can't switch between your bug repellent in there. We do get asked that on the odd occasion, but in most cases, if you're keeping your screen doors and everything closed, you shouldn't be getting insects in here anyway, so just the white for inside.